I wanted to be like a career woman.
Business growth is not this. It's not a linear rocket.
You got to learn how to make $1,000 a month before you get to 10,000. And I tell this to my clients, you have to grow your capacity to feel embarrassment. Grow your capacity to feel disappointment. Grow your capacity to feel uncertainty.
Yeah.
Because the emotions don't stop when the money comes.
Nope.
They actually grow. There's higher stakes, right?
Yes. Ego has no place in a business.
It's the cost of success. These are lessons, and every lesson is different. Like you have to learn new skills.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Empowered with Gina podcast. And I have somebody here who I think we all need to learn from, Miss Catalina Del Carmen.
Hello.
Welcome, my girl. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, beautiful?
I am so well. I'm so happy you're here.
I'm so excited and honored. So
and first of all, a quick shout out to Miss Sabrina Castillo.
Yes.
In New Jersey. Formerly Sabrina Juarez. That's how I knew her. My high school bestie who I've stayed connected with for all these wonderful years of life. And she does so much and is such an empowering example for women. And one of the things she also does is connect women.
Yeah.
And so she
was one of my clients early on in my business.
Okay.
And I got to know her. I mean, we worked with each other for a really long time. And she told me about you early on.
Yeah.
But this was 5 years ago now. So I'm not sure what you were doing. She said you were starting to build a community or something like that.
That's exactly
And I had just moved to LA. So I remember her telling me about you. And then little by little, I started learning about you, followed you. And
and here we are.
Here we are now.
Here we are. So Sabrina, shout out. We love you. You are empowerment defined. Connecting women.
Yeah.
I always start my podcast out by asking my guests 3 adjectives to describe themselves.
Ooh, okay. Adjectives to describe myself: honest, generous, authentic.
Okay, good. So tell me, who was Kat, this young girl? Where did you come from? What was your upbringing?
Born and raised San Francisco proper. I was born in San Francisco. First gen, my mom and dad, both Guatemalan Americans, Guatemalans at that time, Guatemalan immigrants. They met here, but I grew up with a single mom. So born and raised in San Francisco Bay Area, single mom, very hustler mentality. It was me, my older sister, and my mom.
Okay.
And that's where I grew up. And I think my experience there, I've always grown up with a ambitious personality. You know, there's the people who want the family and typically like the young girls who want the family or want, whatever their
get
dreams
married
are.
Right away and all the things.
I always knew I wanted to be like a career woman. I didn't know what that looked like.
Same.
But that's what I wanted. So I was a horrible student though. I didn't know it at the time. I had really bad ADHD. And I didn't know. And my mom was kind of like non-existent because she was working all the time. In terms of like school and support and that type of thing.
Was school important for your mom? Like, did she impress it on you? Like, no matter what, you're going to college?
She did. She definitely did. But I will say, because she didn't have a partner, the pressure wasn't that bad. Like my older sister didn't go to college.
Okay.
My older sister, although she's the eldest, I kind of was like the acting eldest. Oh. So I was like the pride and joy that had to do well.
Sure.
And even though I struggled in school, I was popular and I was friendly and I was class president. Like I was always like ambitious.
Okay.
And, I copied a lot and first graduated, got into a 4-year. And then when I got there, I almost flunked out.
Really?
I didn't know how to study. Like I legit didn't know how to study. But I didn't.
What did you study?
It through business. I'm a business major. Yeah. So I always was into like entrepreneurial stories and I was always into personal growth, probably you too. And when I got to college, I was like undecided for a long time, but I always was interested in business. I remember taking my first advertising class and I thought it was the coolest class, which is so nerdy from a business perspective, but did that. I didn't graduate for 10 years.
What?
Yeah. So I was in school for 10 years. I mean, now
on and off.
No, I mean, I literally didn't take a break from school. I would go part-time to full-time.
Okay.
But I was like, I built a career in retail. So I worked at Nordstrom for 8 years, which was really a blessing. I love that company. Even till now, I'm
Really?
just a shopper, but Nordstrom, I mean, that is where I got my entrepreneurial
Really?
kind of spirit, because they have it's very embedded into their values from the inside.
I've heard of that. I've heard
Yeah,
Nordstrom is an excellent employer because of their culture.
it is amazing. I mean, I worked there for a long time. I had 12 roles. I opened stores. I mean, I was 24 managing teams of
Wow.
like 18 or something. Like I had amazing experiences, and that's why it took me so long to finish college, because I was making good money,
Makes sense.
you know, and I was just like, and I never was good at school,
Right.
traditional school. So the kind of fight between that was long, but I wanted to finish for my mom, because
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you.
you
Why didn't
know,
you just quit? Because you obviously were successful as a
yeah,
worker, business person,
yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
employee, and sky's the limit with what you could do there.
yeah.
Why do you think you didn't just say, you know what, school's not for me?
It really was for my mom. Now looking back, because there's so many times I look back at that time and I'm like, I could have went to Seattle and worked at Nordstrom headquarters for sure. Like, I had so many connects and people who went that route.
Yeah.
But you know, every Christmas, like, when are you finishing school? Like, it was
Oh my
just, you
gosh.
know how it is. So it was a long time of that. And then towards like year 7, I was like,
Come on.
it's been
Stop.
7 years.
Stop.
Like, let me just
People just
wrap
stop asking
this
you
up.
altogether.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah. So finally I got my business degree at San Jose State University. And it was very cool because I also grew up in the Bay Area where the tech boom happened.
Ooh.
And San Jose is in Silicon Valley. So I got access to seeing a lot of different businesses grow and like seeing the impact in my city, especially in San Francisco. Like, I was born in San Francisco. So the shift culturally was a little wild for me. And
Sure.
I understood how powerful a tech boom like that could be in a city, just like AI right now, right?
Transformative.
Yeah. So I had a perspective, and then I got into tech and I built a career in learning and development. Then almost got into sales. Well, I started getting into sales, and that's when I quit my job and my business started growing and things
So wait,
started moving and
let's
shaking.
talk about that because you're just kind of breezing over that,
Yeah.
and this is like where the magic sauce happens.
Yeah.
Because there's people listening to this right now who are going to be inspired by you. And wow, she took 10 years to graduate, but she did it
Mm-hmm.
on her terms, right on time
Yeah.
for her.
Yeah.
Talk about, I want
Yeah,
to
let's talk
not
about
breeze
that.
over that. What business did you start?
Mm-hmm.
And then what business did you quit? And then what was
Yeah.
going through your brain? 'Cause that
Yeah.
sounds scary.
Yeah. So when I graduated college, I was already like, what, 28,
Mhm.
right? And I had a lot of shame at that time, looking back. Like, I remember not wanting to celebrate my graduation, which is so sad looking back. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But it was because I was so embarrassed that it took so long.
Okay.
But now looking back, I'm like, oh my God, like, doesn't even matter, like,
Doesn't.
everything. And me and my husband are both late bloomers and have both built successful careers. And now looking back in our lives, we're like, we did things so up and down, but you really do like craft what you want in this life,
Totally.
you know?
Totally.
So anyways, that happened. Graduated after 10 years, built a career in tech. I worked at really fun startups. I worked at Airbnb when they were booming. Like, that was a cool experience.
So from Nordstrom,
Nordstrom.
why did you leave Nordstrom if it was great?
I wanted the money, the
wanted-
money, the tech money.
You wanted more money.
Yeah.
Rightly
I
so.
was like a hustler. I'm
Good.
like, let me go where the
Yes.
money is.
Go where the money is.
Yeah. So I got into tech, huge ego hit because my coworkers were like 21. And I was like, but we both had just graduated. And I'm like, but I've ran teams. I like literally grew like profit in one of the departments at Nordstrom from like 2 million to 8 million. Like, I remember just huge ego hits. But what I've learned about ego hits is like, that is a part of the game. You know, I'm sure over and over, like, ego hits is a part of the game. And I had so much of that because during my 10 years in college, I would get a manager job and I would have such a, great role and salary at Nordstrom. And then when I met my husband's like, why don't I cover the bills? You finish school, get a salesperson job so you can have some flexibility to finish school.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of that in those 10 years too. But once I started getting into tech, it was hard to get into tech, I have to say. And that was frustrating because I
Why?
knew how great I was. Nobody would give me call back. Like I must have done, I will say the time when I was trying to get into tech after I graduated was just so much learning. I must have gone to like 70 interviews. It took like a year for me to find a coordinator role.
Wow.
And I think I remember at that time, like at the beginning, I was very frustrated and a lot of shame.
Yeah.
And towards the end, I remember walking out of an interview because I was like, I'm good. My standards
You were done.
My standards were so high at the end of it. I'm like, you know
Great.
what? I don't care how long this takes.
Good.
I'm going to join a company that works for me.
That's right.
And I did. And I joined an amazing startup and had a great manager. And I worked in training and development. And, I was there for at least, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. We ended up getting acquired by Adobe Adobe Inc. They're a great company with amazing benefits. So I ended up having my baby, and they paid they pay for full paternity and maternity leave. FYI.
Shout out to Adobe.
Yeah,
Shout out Adobe.
Yeah, they are amazing
Thank
company
you.
to work for.
Thank you.
Yeah, men also get the 6 months, same package.
Which is so important when a baby's born, just for the family unit
it's
solidify.
incredible.
Yeah.
But that's where I really understood. In that role, I understood kind of like the networking game, and that like you have to, looking back, I wish I would have had the confidence as I did now. I think I kind of had a chip on my shoulder going into tech because it was so hard kind of getting in. So when I got there, I still felt like I needed to like downplay, and like not be too much because in retail I felt so welcome, right? Because we're like loud and curly hair and lipstick and like it was the best, honestly. But getting into tech, I just felt like I had to
tone it down,
which
is changing you.
Oh, absolutely,
like buffering who you are.
Absolutely. So I felt like I remember just feeling like I was always fighting for my next salary raise, even though I had an amazing team, great manager. Like it was now looking back, I think I was just like fighting when I didn't need to.
Interesting.
Like if I just gave myself some room to breathe and be me, and like
you would have done fine.
Be okay with my ADHD brain, I felt like I would have probably had a little bit more success. Although I did have success. We had the acquisition. I stayed through the acquisition, which was a really great experience.
Absolutely.
It was hard, but it was a good experience. And meanwhile, while all this is going on, I started creating content in 2016, 17.
Okay.
And I was just dabbling.
On what platform?
Instagram. And I created a fashion blog. That's when I was at Nordstrom.
Okay.
I was at Nordstrom. I created a fashion blog. I wanted a creative outlet. Quickly realized blogging wasn't for me. Fashion blogging specifically. It was just like buying a lot of clothes, showing it. It just felt a little material for me. As much as I like material. Just to be clear.
Not blogging about it though.
Yeah, I just didn't want to blog about it. And I really gave myself a lot of space to like just play with content.
Okay.
A lot on Instagram, started building community, fashion blog, started a YouTube, beauty. Like I was just playing with content and figuring it out. By the time I had my son, this is towards the end of my career at Adobe, I was on maternity leave, and I knew like I just couldn't get the itch out of me to like start a business. And I stayed in this like, I want a business, but I don't know what I want it to be for a long time.
Okay.
And I looked at Amazon FBA and like just every little opportunity I kind of dug into it. And it wasn't until I was going back from maternity leave in 2019 where I was like, you know what? I'm going to put on a training, because I worked in learning and development, and we did a lot of trainings. I was very experienced in that. I was like, I'm going to put on a training for my network, and I'm going to sell tickets, and like, let's just see what happens.
About content creation.
No, at that time I called it Follow That Fear. And it was about following your fear and how fear plays a role in our personal growth.
Yeah.
I called it Follow That Fear workshop. I rented a space in Berkeley, California, invited everyone I could. Cousins came, friends. I had our admin who worked with me. She's like, I'll organize it.
Love.
Yeah, and did that, loved it. And then going out of that, I was like, this is something started a podcast.
Oh.
That podcast is what really grew the trajectory
Is it
of my
still
business.
the Show Up Real podcast?
Yes, I changed the name.
Okay.
I had to, but it was Follow That Fear podcast at the time.
Okay.
And that was the podcast that I really poured into and marketed the hell out of.
Wow.
And that was when I started seeing traction, and I started people getting tapped on the shoulder, like, can you help me with this? Or I want to start a podcast,
Yes.
or la, la, la. And that turned into a course. I started teaching podcasting, and then I started teaching personal branding because I just was listening to my audience and people.
What they want.
And I started creating things. And then in 2021, I had a big shift. Like January of 2021, I really decided, like, if I'm going to be good at this, I want to be great. So let me just coach people and learn how to be a really good coach and actually get results. And everything in my body didn't want to do that because it was more expensive, and I felt uncomfortable selling expensive coaching. But it's one-on-one. It can't be cheap. Like, it's one
your time's
person.
valuable.
Yeah.
What you have to share is
and
valuable.
I kept comparing it to how much I was paid at work. So I'm like, well, that's the least I'm going to charge at least.
That's great.
So I really had to swallow this, like, pride. Or, I don't know if it's pride. I think swallow this shame of charging high.
Let's talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Culturally, societally, doesn't matter what background you're from, especially if you're a woman.
Yeah.
We notoriously undervalue ourselves. We do things for
Bazillion.
free because we're nice and we should.
Yeah.
I'll just do it for them, you know.
Yeah.
They help me out versus
100.
what men have been told.
Mhm.
Your time is valuable, you will charge, or you don't show up. You pay a heart surgeon for a heart transplant.
Yeah.
You pay a dentist to fix your teeth.
Exactly.
Why do we women,
Mm-hmm.
why do we, I know why, we were conditioned, we were told this is what we should do. We don't have to listen to that like you did. And I love that you brought that up because this is such a
100%.
juggernaut of where it can stop for women as far as growth
Absolutely.
or staying status quo.
Absolutely.
What gave you the motivation to be like, I feel so embarrassed and shameful to even charge people like X amount? Oh, why would anyone pay me? Oh my God. What did you tell yourself to
What
get
was
through
the
it?
shift?
Yeah.
It was, I spent 4 months of 2020, September, October, November, December.
Okay.
In that time, I put out a $97 course, created it, invested in like a program, a software that I could put it in, sold it. And I remember making like $1,500. And I was just like, great, but I'm still disappointed. And the work was so hard, like the amount of pouring out.
Yeah, your time.
So then I did a group program just the month after. This was the testing and learning stage. Like I was just learning how this all worked. Put out a group program, made like 5,000, which is great. But I just remember by December, I was like, this is not going to work. I cannot be this exhausted. Like, and continue.
It's
like,
not
I'll go back
sustainable.
to my 9 to 5, my cushy 9 to 5 job with great benefits, right? Like, if this is how it's going to work, I can't do it. And I was really resisting selling one-on-one coaching because I know typically in the coaching world, it's like the starter is like $2,000 for 3 months, one-on-one every week, right? The minimum, that's like the minimum. And I just felt a way about it. But I remember telling myself, like, if I'm trying to get the quick money here, and that's the bad way to think about it.
Mm-mm.
What do I need to do to become very good and build a reputation about this? And that was when I was like, I have to do one-on-one coaching, not for whatever reason, only for becoming good, to become really good at this so I could actually be confident in helping people get results. Like, how is this going to work if I cannot do that?
Yeah.
So the shift was, look, there's going to be a time, Kat, where you could charge $97 for a program, or people could work with you for a longer time. Like, there's going to be a time where you launch your, like the offer that people can afford.
Yeah.
Right now is not that time. You got lessons to learn. You got stripes to earn, right?
The cost of doing business.
Exactly. And you are one person. So because you are not willing to go to the route of hiring a whole team, hiring coaches, hiring a marketing team, hiring HR, like, if you're not going to go that route, then you got to do something to keep the lights on while you're building your business and do good work.
And you can only come to that conclusion and that answer by going through that exercise.
Yes.
By realizing, and people don't understand business and are surprised when they start business. Business growth is not this. It's not a linear rocket.
100%.
It is
very much
this. You are growing during the not charging anyone because you've got to learn. You have to learn that experience where you're probably not getting paid.
Absolutely.
But what you're gaining is invaluable insight.
Invaluable. And now, so the year in 2021, in 2021, my business blew up for me. Yeah. Even though I had put years and years
but it
and
had
years,
to, because it wasn't going to do it overnight.
Exactly. So in 2021, that's when I started really it was like a humbling myself, like a surrender to like, you know what? I'm just going to go out there and sell and give lots of value. And I did make a deal with myself from a marketing perspective. I was like, look, if you're not going to have any offers that are like under 1,000, then you better give a lot of value in your content for free. It'll work for you because you'll get more clients. And also the people who can't afford you, don't hold back.
That's right.
Just give them everything you got, all the knowledge, all the wisdom, all of it. And at that time I had my podcast, I had Instagram, and I had my email, and those three, that was like my marketing channels. And I just poured into those, just giving everything I could, right?
Which is important because sometimes people spread themselves too thin when they're growing a business, and especially in marketing. Yes, diversify. You need to have different platforms to communicate your marketing, but not to the point where you're running very thin and like
absolutely
you're spread so thin, you're not effectively communicating on any of them.
100%. Right? And it's one of the things I tell my clients now. Yeah. I'm like, you don't get, like, you could start being on TikTok and LinkedIn and Instagram and like all these things, but every single person who's making money from online, whether you're a coach or a course creator or like whatever even brand partnerships and all that, they get good at one platform.
That's it.
And they become known on one platform at a time.
That's right.
Like that is not how it always works unless you want to pour money from the beginning.
Hire the team.
It's like, do you want to pour money or do you want to pour in time? What do you got? You get to, this is a business game. Like,
and it's not going to be like that forever. Because when you pour in the time, you build the brand integrity.
Exactly.
You get the money in.
You get a reputation.
You build the team.
Exactly. That's exactly what I tell my clients too.
Exactly that path.
Like you have to like take one step at a time, get good at it, one platform.
Yes.
And then keep moving.
And I love that you talk about humbling yourself because a lot of people are getting FOMO. They look at other creators online and they're like, well, look at them. You have no idea that they've been doing this for 15 plus years.
Yeah.
They started out with 0 followers. They started out in another industry, very similar story to yours. You cannot compare yourself to your peers or people that inspire you.
Absolutely
Let them inspire you.
Yeah.
But you better not be comparing yourself because that's a trap and your ego gets hit and you are not humble about it.
And one thing I've learned in business too is like, you're also gonna go through it again. Like that's how it works. It doesn't stop. Like if like you will learn, I always tell my clients, like you have to learn how to make $10,000 first, the $10,000 month, let's say $10,000 month or $1,000 month. Like you got to learn how to make $1,000 a month before you get to 10,000. And once you learn how to make 10,000, then guess what? You got to learn how to make 20. You don't just do the same thing over and over and like all the money comes your way. Like, no, these are lessons and every lesson is different. Like you have to learn new skills. Yeah.
What
to
you're
grow
learning
your
to
revenue.
make $100K $1 million revenue is not what you can learn at 1,000.
Exactly. The skills are going to be different. So you're going to have to humble yourself again and again. Yeah. And it looked like you were saying, like from the outside, it looks so glamorous. But the truth is like anybody who's building anything, it doesn't matter if it's from $0 to $100K or $1 million to 5 million. They're going through the gutter trying to figure it out.
And it doesn't look like that on social media. I'll tell you that.
It does not. It
looks so wonderful.
Yeah,
You're like,
this is me and my coffee. And it's me too, by the way. Like I do that too. Okay. So I actually did walk in with coffee today.
Yeah. It looks so good too. Okay, good. So then I love this because so many people are starting or wanting to start a business. Yeah. And I think focusing and understanding and embracing that your ego is going to get slapped around a lot. So work on that.
Yeah.
Work on expecting that.
Absolutely.
The ego has no place in a business.
And the beginning, like, this is, I'm sure you've seen this everywhere. You might have said this before, but embarrassment is the cost. It's the cost of success.
Yeah.
It's like just what I was saying before of like the person going from $1 to 100K or 1 million to 5 million, they will have to, and I tell this to my clients, you have to grow your capacity to feel embarrassment, grow your capacity to feel disappointment, grow your capacity to feel uncertainty.
Yeah.
Because the emotions don't stop when the money comes.
Nope.
They actually grow. There's higher stakes, right?
Yes.
Like the more money you make, the scarier
How
the
do
risks
I sustain
are.
This?
Yeah. It's like, the first investment I made in my business, one of the first I remember making this $4,000 investment to this program, which I didn't know at the time would change my whole life and perspective. But I remember really debating that. But look, I had a cushy 6-figure plus job, and I was like going back and forth about $4,000. And that, I remember the weight of that. And then fast forward to, let's say, like I invested in this very expensive $25,000 mastermind. And that was a decision, right? And that, when I think about that decision, sure, I had learned how to make money at that point in my business, but I wasn't I didn't want to just get rid of 25K, right? That's a lot of money. And I remember at that time, my husband, we were saving we wanted to buy a second property. And it's like, the feeling is not any less than because I know how to make money now. No, it's a bigger risk. The risk is bigger, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel.
Isn't that interesting?
It is so. And I think about like people who are very wealthy, and I'm like, the risks are still like, if you have a net worth of 10 million, well, then the risks have to be multi-million, it's like
scary.
The feeling is still scary.
Very scary. You have a lot more to lose.
Exactly.
But it's actually relative.
Yeah, it is.
You have a lot to lose at $1,000 investment.
Exactly.
Because that's where you are in your journey.
Because that's where you are, exactly.
Versus $100 million.
Yeah.
It's the same relatively concept.
100%.
And so that is a part, I think, of business growth that people don't realize. They think start the business, be successful. No.
Yeah.
No.
I wish.
No.
And I thought that too, to be clear.
Well, of course we all did.
Yeah.
But there's so much more to it. It's multi-layered, multi-leveled.
And it's the longevity too.
That's it.
It's like the longer you're in it, the more you learn, the more you see the perspective, right?
Yeah. And the opportunities.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Yeah. So.
All right. So how can people, I'm going to put your information for people to connect with you.
Yeah.
But what can you currently today offer people that are listening that are interested in content creation or getting that coaching? What can you help them with?
So I have a program. It's called Show Up Real. It's the same name as my podcast. In that program, I teach people everything from starting from scratch on content all the way to selling. And that program, so I teach two things. I teach building a community online, and then I teach selling to the community. So the way I would think about this program is you are going to understand the fundamentals of selling.
Interesting.
Like I teach, and I love selling, I love marketing, and that's what I do, but really understanding like, how does content create actual clients? Because all my clients found me online. I did not have a network.
So powerful.
Like my network didn't come to me first. It was my people online who bought from me first. So that's what I teach in that program. I mean, it's all about authenticity. The name of it is Show Up Real on Purpose, is because my business grew when I really decided to like peel back the layers and be like, you know what, fuck it. I'm just gonna teach I'm like, can I cuss
here?
I'm like, I'm just gonna teach what I know for sure.
Done.
And I'm not gonna try to be like this person or that person. Here's what
You're
I know. And here work with you. So I have that program, and then I work with people one-on-one right now. I used to have a mastermind, and I might be cooking something up soon, but one-on-one coaching and that. And yeah, I'm in a phase in my business where I'm trying a lot of new things out too.
How
so
exciting.
It's like, it's crazy, but it's uncertainty too, you know?
And that's part of it. So I applaud you. I support you. I see you. We're sisters in business.
I appreciate you.
However, I can support and continue to support you and learn from you. Like I've learned so much, like just listening to you right now, I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm
can't wait to have you on my podcast. I know exactly what we're going to talk about. Okay. We are going to talk, and we're going to figure it out after this.
Yes. Okay.
But I want to talk to you, and if also do an episode on this. I think you have, but how to I'm trying to think of how to word this, but one thing you're great at is you are so good at accepting the blessings that come your way.
The privilege.
And a lot of people have a hard time with that. I have a really hard time with that. We have a
Shame, the
lot of
guilt.
shame and the guilt. And you talk about this all the time. I want to pick your brain on how that works.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how do we make space for the goodness? How do we make space for the visibility, right?
It's not about making space. It's about waking up every day and this is how I operate.
Yeah.
I don't make space for it. I think this way as soon as I wake up.
Yeah.
I belong here.
Well, we need to know how to become that brain.
I'm going to tell you. All right. So
Thank
I'm
you.
going to put your information.
Okay.
Please reach out to Kat. She is a wealth of knowledge, as you can see. And it is worth making that investment if you want to grow your business or even just get that education.
Yeah.
So
Get
please reach out.
100%. And look, and go look around everywhere first. Obviously, do your due diligence. And, you know, now we have access to a lot of information with AI.
Yeah.
So yeah. Thank you so much. You're amazing.
I'm so happy you're here and I would love to have you back and continue to learn more.
Of course. I appreciate you.
Thank you.